Alright, so let's fill a sketchbook spread. Hi everyone! So one of my goals for this year is to actually use my sketchbook a little more. I am not gonna make it a goal to fill a whole sketchbook because that never works. I just want to practice using it a little more. I really want to become better at mindless doodling, just grabbing a pencil and draw whatever pops up in my mind without worrying about making a finished piece or making it look perfect or anything. Just having fun with it. I am a perfectionist, so this is very good practice for me. This is the Viviva Inktober collaboration sketchbook. I did a video on it if you would like to check it out. I feel like this sketchbook is perfect for mixed media since the pages are so nice and thick. As I said, my goal is to make more sketches, trying to use a lot of different medium and just doing what I think is fun. So that is actually what I'm gonna try to do today. I did this video, I think it was an Upgrade unboxing, where I had all of these different mediums, paint pen, water-based markers, color pencils, and I really enjoy that. So I think I want to do something similar today using some different mediums. So what I have, I think this is the Uhuhu art markers. It is a huge package of these dual brush pens. Oh, it seems like it is different sets actually. I haven't tried these before. They just sent them to me and I kind of forgot about them, to be honest. Got a brush tip at one end and a small little bullet tip at the other end. I think this could be pretty fun to add some colors with. I want to pick a few. I want to keep a limited color palette, I think. We'll see what happens. I also want to use some paint markers, some Posca pens. I think it looks really good with the opaque paint markers mixed with the more translucent water-based markers. And also I want to use some color pencils. I might pick a few to add some texture, especially on top of the paint markers. And I was thinking that maybe I should pick the color scheme first, but maybe I should just draw something and then I will maybe get a feeling what kind of colors I would like to use. I don't know how well this blue will show up on camera. So I'm just gonna draw a cat. I just want to do a relaxing drawing, and cats are some of my go-to things to draw, so I'm just gonna go with it. And since I want to use the whole spread, I am just gonna make the tail super long. That has been a theme in my sketchbook lately. Cats with super long tails. Maybe curl it a bit more to give it some flow. Yeah, it looks kind of silly, but I like it. Something that I've also been trying to work or practice on is to not think too much about what people want me to draw, or rather not being afraid that people will be bored at what I'm drawing if I'm drawing the same thing all the time, because I keep coming back to Bob Ross. The only thing he drew really was landscape and mountains and nature and all that kind of thing. I mean, I love his art, but I mean, there isn't that much variation, to be completely honest. So I mean, why can't I draw mushrooms and cats all the time? Speaking of mushrooms, there is a mushroom growing on this cat's tail. So basically what I'm trying to say is that if people is drawing a lot of the same thing, I don't see why that is wrong. I mean, if you like drawing something, just draw it. I don't know if this blue pen was the best choice when filming, but I hope you can see a little of it. So we got some mushrooms on this cat's tail. Maybe I want the mushroom coming up from here. Also, I'm making my mushrooms a little rounder than I usually do. My mushrooms are usually a little more triangular, but today I just felt like drawing something a little rounder, using round, soft shapes. I don't know if I finished my thought on the drawing the same thing subject, but basically what I was trying to say is that don't worry too much if you're drawing a lot of the same thing, because if you like doing it, just do it. Then of course it is really good to draw different things to practice. Drawing different things is also a good way to find new things to draw. So I think there is both pros and cons. So basically, don't worry if you draw the same thing, but also don't be afraid of trying new things. Got some flowers, by the way, and some plants, of course. I'm trying to not think too much about where I place all the things. I'm just adding things where I think it looks good. You can have a little mushroom growing out from the cat's butt. Maybe not. There is actually a lot of practicing going on here today. Not only am I practicing in working in my sketchbook, but I'm also trying to talk while I'm drawing, which isn't that easy because I am one of those people who just want to sit quiet when I draw. So we will see how well this will go, but worst case scenario, I will just have to do voiceover in case I get too quiet. Yep. I like this, this is cute. I think let's pick out some colors to work with. Do I want to use black for the cat, or maybe I want to use maybe a dark gray? Could I do the swatches in my sketchbook? Probably. I think this warm gray will be nice. Maybe go with these two. What kind of colors do I want? Maybe a purple. Oh, that's very light. That one was dried, unfortunately. I'm kind of feeling pastel tones. Maybe something a little darker. Maybe that one. I think this will be good. Let's grab some paint pens. Pink. And I want some color pencils for texture. Perhaps something a little purpley. Yeah, I think these are the colors that I want to work with. I'm not sure if this is a very limited color palette, but I feel it is still limited. I am just gonna begin with the cat. Just a few more leaves. I'm planning to do the leaves with the Posca pens anyway, so it doesn't really matter because they are opaque, so I can just draw over. Oh, this one is gonna be dark. Did I use the wrong color? Oh, I used the wrong color, but it's alright. I was going to use the dark one on the ears anyways. Since these pens are water-based, I'm gonna try to draw with them in one direction because the strokes will be visible. Wow, the stroke of the marker really is visible. Not sure if I'm liking it, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. But I feel like it might be good that I'm not liking it from the beginning, because it only gives me a chance to be more creative, to figure out a way to like it. I swear that at the end of it, I am going to like this. I don't understand though why the markers are turning out that streaky. Maybe it's the paper, I don't know. It seems like if I'm layering the pen, the color will become darker, so I can create some sort of texture on top of this and maybe make it look a little less streaky and nasty. Maybe I can make it look like fur. Yeah, that made it look a little better. Yeah, I do think it looks a little better when adding the texture on top of it. And I have to say, these are water-based markers which are known for tearing the paper, but this paper is really sturdy because there aren't any paper crumbs or anything so far, which is good. I'm thinking I want the mushroom hats or the caps to be in Posca pens, and then the underside and the stem or foot or whatever it's called will be in the brush markers, just to mix the different textures. So I'm currently playing Pokemon Sword. I know I'm late. Anyway, in Pokemon Sword there is this place with a lot of glowing mushrooms, so I can't remember the name of the place, of course. I can't remember anything, but it is super cool. I really like it. So I think that is where I got the idea that I want to draw colorful pastel mushrooms. And also because I just love drawing mushrooms. the paper in this sketchbook is amazing with Posca pens. Usually, just as with the water-based markers, they tend to tear up the paper and make these little paper crumbs, you know, that get stuck on the penny, but this paper is super durable. Then we need to let that dry. Do I want the flowers to be pink, maybe? This is actually pretty nice pink that isn't too close to the purple. Yeah, let's make the flowers pink. I was thinking that I can maybe add the brush pens on top of the Posca pens to create some shading perhaps. There is something so satisfying of working with paint markers. Also, I might mention now when I don't really have anything else to say that, as you may have noticed, my upload schedule has been a little sporadic. And I feel like I say it all the time, but I'm not posting less because I don't enjoy making videos anymore. It is just because I've had a lot of other things to do. I've been doing a lot of work with my shop, for example. I've also been super tired after Christmas and New Year and all that, but I'm hoping to post a little more frequently. I think this video will be up the week after the previous video, so there will be 2 weeks in a row now, but I'm hoping to post at least bi-weekly, and I will still be posting on Saturdays. But yeah, just so you know, there will be new videos eventually. If I haven't posted in a while, I'm still working on getting things in balance. Do I want to make the leaves now? Maybe I will add in a pen. Let's try that here. Oh, I don't want to put my hand in the wet paint. Oh, looking good so far. And maybe I want to add in a little more of these apricot colors. Maybe a little apricot leaf. Can do one here, maybe. Yeah, I really like this more see-through texture against the solid paint markers. Oh, now I'm doing that thing again where I draw on the right side when I'm right-handed. So these need to dry before I can work on that side. I don't want to smudge anything. Don't put the hand in the wet paint. Oh, that could be a good sticker or pin idea. Yeah, so far I'm really liking how it's turning out. I could just draw leaves all day. Oh no! Oop, we got a blob! That is one of the risky things of working with paint markers. You never know when they're just gonna spew the paint all over. I hope you are enjoying this very intense video. I feel like I'm not saying anything, but I'm basically just painting leaves. But yeah, I'm trying to spread out the different colors so that we will get a good balance. I feel like we need a little more purple, maybe. Maybe I will add some purple leaves with the brush pens. Oh, maybe I can add the purple to the flowers to separate the petals. Yeah, that looks interesting. I kinda wish though that the nib wasn't that thick, but it looks kind of cool anyway. Even more leaves. I'm gonna let that dry and then I'm gonna go in with the brush pens on the underside of the mushrooms. So I'm gonna use purple for the purple, yellow for the yellow, and turquoise for the turquoise. Do I want to color the whole stem or do I want to keep some of it white? Since this purple is so light, I'm just gonna go for it. And the yellow. Yeah, that looks kind of interesting, I suppose. And then I'm thinking I want to go in with a slight darker color to shade. Maybe something like that. Add some details to the stem. Use the purple to add a little bit of shading to the flower. Now looking at it, I'm actually not a fan of the shading under the mushroom cap, so I think I am just gonna fill in all of it. And then I might use a white pen to add in the little lines on the underside. Yeah, I think that looks better already. Maybe I can add in some details on the leaves with the brush pens. I don't know how well that shows up. I think I want a little more contrast. I think I'm just gonna use a darker Posca pen. I think that looks pretty good. I think adding the outlines to the leaves, it adds a bit of a sharpness, I think. I really like the contrast. This was a juicy, thick pen. So, what are your favorite things to draw in a sketchbook? Do you like making just pencil or pen sketches, or do you like to use more colors like gouache or watercolors maybe? What do I want to outline the orange with? I feel like I'm adding more and more colors to this, but then again, I just want to draw and have fun with it and not think too much about what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna go with the flow. Oh no, it finally happened! I put my hand in the wet paint. I didn't smudge it though. Again, I feel like I'm not saying too much. I don't understand how people do live streams and drawing and entertaining their audience at the same time. Maybe it just takes a little bit of practice, but I'm feeling doing these kinds of videos with live commentary, so to speak, it all feels a little more casual, you know, a little more relaxed. You can draw in your own sketchbook at the same time. I really like the outlines of the leaves, so should I outline the mushrooms too? Oh, maybe I should use some pencils. I haven't done that yet. I'm not sure if these are the colors that I want to work with though. Maybe I should pick some new ones. I want to make sure that everything is dry. I could use the pencils to add some dots or spots on the mushroom caps. Yeah, that looks kind of interesting. Maybe I can do some sort of outline too. I like it. I really like this sketchy texture. Do the same on this one. Add a little bit of shading. The mushrooms so far are definitely my favorite. I really like adding the texture on top of the pens. It looks really good with this sketchy texture. Looks so good. So then I need some purple pencils for the purple mushroom. And this is why I love experimenting with different art supplies or mixed media, because you can achieve a really nice effect that you didn't thought about. The color pencils aren't working that well really on top of the Posca, but it still creates a pretty cool texture, so I still like it. They aren't gripping that well because it is acrylic paint. It is kind of like drawing on top of plastic. I suppose maybe Prismacolor pencils would have worked better on top of the paint marker because they are a little more soft and creamy, while these Polychromos are a little harder. They are still soft, but not as soft as the Prismacolor. So let's see if I can do something else with the flowers to make them stand out a little more. Could add a little bit of pencil to those too. Adding a little bit of that sketchy texture to make it a little more cohesive. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. And I should fill in the eyes and this line to separate the tail from the body. Oh, and I want to add some pink to the ears, I think. I don't know if the paint marker is lifting up the black or if the paint is just really translucent. Yeah, there is a bit of black on the nib, so it seems like it is picking up the black. That doesn't look that great, but I'm just gonna let that dry. Maybe I can add some more leaves to the background using the brush pen. I have to say, I do actually like the look of these pens on this paper. Even if the cat turned out all streaky, I think if you're going for a more textured look, these pens are actually pretty fun to work with. Gonna give this kitty some eyes to see with. 2 coats of the pink definitely looks a lot better. I think I want something more in the background, some kind of background color. It feels a little empty in these corners. You know what? We haven't added a moon yet, so why not? Okay, so we're just gonna see what happens. And then maybe I can just fade it out somehow. Because I don't want to color in the whole background. Turning it into these little dots maybe. That added a splash of color. I can add a little bit of yellow over here maybe. I can just add it a little here and there and fade it out. I actually think it ties together a little more. Also at this corner. Maybe if I add some negative space, adding some orange leaves. I could add a little bit of purple too, a very light purple, just to break it up a bit. Is that even visible? It's turning out very similar to the sketchbook spread that I made for the upgrade video. With the style and all, and the colors and everything, the mushrooms and the flowers. I feel like this is something I needed to practice on to be a little more brave when it comes to filling a sketchbook spread, just trying to relax and just draw whatever I feel like. And maybe I had to draw something that I've already drawn, kind of, to feel a little more safe, I suppose. But also I really like working in this style. And as I mentioned before, you should not be afraid of drawing the same thing many times, because that is also practice. Are these stars or flowers? Who knows? Should I add something more to the cat maybe? Oh, whiskers. Maybe just a few white dots on the mushrooms to lighten them up a little. And just a little white on the flowers. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it like this and call it done. So yeah, I am very happy with how this sketchbook spread turned out. Even as I mentioned before, it turned out very similar to a previous sketchbook spread that I made. I just wanted to have fun with it, and I really enjoyed making this and playing around with the different art supplies and creating different textures. I'm really loving the color pencils mixed with the paint markers and the kind of like watercolor texture from the brush markers. Yeah, I think it was a very fun little experiment. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I hope I will see you next time. Keep drawing my happy cats. Bye!